Welcome back on the halftime show here on the PAC Sports Network. And we're joined now by Josh Clemens, the head coach of the Allegheny Gators. Coach, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having us, Randy.
Now, after dropping the first 4 games of the season, Allegheny has won its last 2 games entering tonight's action, including an 88-84 triumph over Bethany, which was your first career head coaching win at Allegheny. How much fun was that game and to be able to share that personal milestone with your team?
It was great, and it was our first home game of the season as well. So it's always good to defend the swamp and getting back to campus and finally having that home game after opening 4 on the road was rewarding to get a win out of that. Great conference win for our program, and it's always good to celebrate with the team after any milestone.
And prior to coming to Allegheny, you're obviously in your first year as head coach. You spent 10 years at Paul Smith's College as a player and a coach, a program in the Yankee Small College Conference. Tell us about what the competition is like there and how it prepared you for coaching here at Allegheny in the PAC.
Yeah, the Yankee was a great conference. Really enjoyed it as a player and as a coach. Kind of growing up in that world. Is a USCAA school, so it's meant for smaller college. Paul Smith had an enrollment around 800 people. So when we say small college basketball, it's a different arena than a small college at Allegheny here. But it was a great world to participate in. The Yankee produced 3 national championships in 4 years in the USCAA, so it was a very hard-fought conference. Every game was going down to the wire, and I really appreciate the time there, preparing me to go against great competition like we have in the pack, and preparing myself just to keep on recruiting and keep on adding to a team to get talent over the years.
Now, aside from Paul Smith's College, your journey here to Allegheny, an interesting one. You were initially hired to be an assistant coach under Bob Simmons, who had been the longtime head coach and was had a great opportunity in Florida at IMG Academy. And many folks know, of course, IMG Academy is a national powerhouse in a variety of sports. So, talk about, you were kind of thrust into this spot, as it turns out. So how has the transition gone for you in such a quick time frame?
Yeah, so I was brought in this summer to join Coach Simmons' staff. He's been here a successful 8 seasons at Allegheny, and last year being their first in the pack, they did have a great year, making it to the conference championship, obviously, and falling a little short. But I was not expecting to be head coach at Allegheny. I was coming to a larger program to continue to cut my teeth and continue to grow as a young coach. I was very fortunate for the opportunity to come my way when Coach Simmons got the director of basketball opportunity at IMG, that he was comfortable enough to recommend me for the head coaching position. And President Cole and our athletic director, Bill Ross, was also comfortable taking over the position. So I'm very fortunate for this opportunity. It's been an exciting one. Our biggest goal is to make sure the players are comfortable with the new staff. Having 4 completely new coaches on staff is always going to be a challenge. I was brought in to be an assistant because we have a similar philosophy offensively, defensively. So things aren't changing too much in the locker room besides just a new face and a new voice. So we are working on that. Slow start, always something to be said about it. But I think now we're trying to get the roll on as we get more accustomed with each other.
And the team that you inherit, if you will, the cupboard is far from bare. You do lose Caden Hinckley, last year's PAC Defensive Player of the Year, who's now playing professional basketball overseas in Italy. But how has Allegheny moved on with other big forwards like Mike Noonan, who's in the mix?
Yeah, so we are returning 4 starters, and Mike is sliding into that 5th starting spot just fine for us. So we do have a really strong core of 5 seniors, some of which you're going to see between the lines, some of which are leaders in our locker room and leaders everywhere else. And we are really appreciative of that, helping the coaching staff shorten the learning curve. Any year, every coach is going to tell you it's a brand new team, no matter who you gain and who you lose. You're always going to face new challenges. Replacing Caden Hinckley is a huge challenge for us. The career leader in blocks at Allegheny, ECAC Player of the Year, PAC Defensive Player of the Year, and now being a successful alumni for us in Italy. Replacing him is always going to be a challenge, and we're doing it by committee. The thing we're replacing with him most is just having that strong leadership voice. So now we're juniors are now our seniors. They're gaining their voices, and everyone's just grown up a little bit. So it's always hard replacing anybody, but it's a great opportunity for guys to step up and find new roles. Mike is somebody who's played 7 minutes the last 2 years. This year he's averaging around 20 minutes, so he's really doing a great job for us. And then we do have a freshman coming off the bench who we believe can project really high, and that's Zion Barksdale, who's our local freshman. Just had a great game against Penn State Barron and is really finding his own as well.
in some of those senior leaders, Andre Wilder, he was named second team All PAC last season, has stepped up even more this year, leading the team in scoring 19.2 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game. Yeah, how much has Wilder continued to improve in his personal game during his tenure at Allegheny?
Yeah, Andre's a great example of just growth. You can see it in his stats. We can see it in everything else. The young man has done a terrific job being a leader for our campus, being a leader for our program, really takes that role seriously. He's the battery that drives us. He's the energy guy. He's the glue guy. And every practice, you can tell how great a practice is going to be depending on how Andre walks in. So we really appreciate him being that leader for us, continue to be a leader by example. And his stats are going to continue to grow. I mean, he's a terrific player. He's going to hit either a three, get a layup, depending on what you're going to give him. He's going to get the other one. So he's been great for us for sure.
Junior Luke Barker, PAC honorable mention last season, and he's one of the top 3-point shooters in the conference. What kind of threat is he on the perimeter, combining him with what Wilder gives you?
Yeah, Luke's one of our leading guards in scoring. He's also going to be one of our best rebounders at the guard position, coming off, I think, led the team in rebounding against Bear in our most recent game. Just a tough-nosed guard who plays great defense and will hit the open shot. We are fortunate to have a great guard group that any of them can go off any night. Luke has been a consistent one for us, showing up every day, making sure the shots are falling for us. So he's a great thing to have for us. Again, leadership at that junior spot, and we know we can keep building around him moving forward as well.
Sophomore Ryan Lang, he earned a starting spot last year as a freshman because of injuries down the lineup, and he's never looked back. He's averaging 15.5 points per game so far this season. Why has Lang been able to acclimate himself so quickly to the college game?
Yeah, experience is a great thing. You're going to get a lot of experience when you get a couple injuries. I think Ryan took over the starting position in the third game last season, and ever since then has been a starter. So we know we have a lot of talent on our bench. Ryan has continued to keep that role, and that's the important thing. It's not an easy thing to keep a starting role as a sophomore. He keeps performing night in, night out, every practice, every game, and is just the most consistent guy you're going to have. He's an Iron Man. He's reliable. He's going to score from all three levels, and it's just a great thing to have for us. Ryan will continue to grow, and I don't think his name's going away in the pack anytime soon.
And senior guard Preston Turk, he led the PAC in assists last season, is once again the facilitator for Allegheny. How important is Turk to what the Gators do offensively?
Huge. I mean, we're a team that wants to move the ball, up and down, north, south, and east, west when it comes down to the half-court sets. And he's the battery to that. We've had games where he's taken one shot and we look at the box score and still extremely happy with how he played. He can go off for 15 to 20 if that's what he's looking to do. He is a facilitator, and that's the most important role he plays for us. He's the most vocal guy on the court for us. Again, a leader in the locker room, as most of our seniors have been, and we're really appreciative of having his gameplay. I think he continued to do that. He's improved defense over the last couple of years as well, so we expect him to have a great season again.
You mentioned earlier there's not much difference between what you bring in and what Coach Bob Simmons had before he departed for IMG Academy. Speak to that and how you're similar, but also maybe different as a head coach.
Sure. Yeah, if you look at our program statistics, Allegheny for the last 8 years and Paul Smith's my 4 as a head coach there, very similar. We're both fast-paced teams, both averaging above 80 points per game and shooting a tremendous amount of threes. I will say that Allegheny has done a terrific job building the forward position, making sure we have a consistent, strong player in the paint and a presence of defense there. And that's something I'm really excited to inherit and continue to work with those guys. Offensively, we both speak the same language, and that's something that we kind of got along really well in the summer that we had. We spent a lot of time in the car recruiting this summer, learning each other's philosophies, tweaking things here and there, and having that experience with Coach Simmons has been a blessing for me in my career. I was expecting it to be a little bit longer, but I'm excited for the opportunity that he left us. So we're really excited here, and the team is just working on learning different words. I'm a New England guy, Coach is a Pennsylvania guy. We call things different, and trying to figure out, okay, when I say this and you say that, what does that mean? And really work on the team's lexicon and continue to learn from each other. I say I'm the most coachable guy in the gym. I really like living with that philosophy. If a player comes up and says, hey, can we try this? We're probably going to try it out. They're the guys out there in the trenches. They're the ones rebounding. They're the ones shooting. And if I tell you take a shot this way and they say, well, it goes in if I do it this way, we're going to go with their way. So it is definitely a player-led team. We're fortunate that the culture here is very strong. I didn't get to work with Coach Simmons too much during the actual season. I know how their practices were ran last year. A lot of things are ran similarly. I am a little more new school just because I'm a little more new. So we're working on things that way too.
That's Josh Clemens, head coach of the Allegheny Gators. Coach, thanks so much for your time, and good luck to you and the team the rest of the way.
Thank you. Thanks so much for hosting us.
We'll have more coming up in just a moment, the second half here on the PAC Sports Network.